Now tuned into the turn the music up in the headphones.
Hello, and welcome to our first episode of our newest podcast, LabelLess. My name's Xavier.
And I'm Kimber, and I just want my pre-podcast shout out to go to Tammy Duckworth. For those of you not familiar with who Tammy Duckworth is, she is the junior senator from Illinois. She's also a retired Army lieutenant colonel. And in response to one of the POTUS's comments about putting the military in harm's way with the government shutdown, Tammy Duckworth took the time to remind the 5-time draft dodger that she was not going to take any recommendations regarding the military from Corporal Bone Spurs. And for that, I must say, my shout out goes to Tammy Duckworth. I
will tell you, it was a very fantastic nickname. He's 45 has been good at giving nicknames to people in this past year. And I don't think anybody's given him one that I really, really liked yet. And this was outstanding by the junior senator.
Absolutely.
I think another thing about her that I think I found it said is that she's expecting.
Yes.
Which is kind of cool because I think she'll be the first sitting senator to give birth.
She will. I think everyone's on the edge of their seats waiting to see how actually having a pregnant female senator plays in terms of time off from work and things of those natures, if it changes the conversation about maternity leave and some of the expectations that are put upon women. So,
well, if anybody can do it, she can do it. I think we neglected to say that she's also a double amputee.
Tammy Duckworth is a true American hero.
Amen to that.
And in this inaugural episode, we're going to try to tackle a few subjects. Happy belated birthday, Martin Luther King Jr.
That's funny. I think one of your things you want to talk about was the Me Too movement, the big marches going on.
Yes, I want to talk a little bit about Me Too. But before I do that, let's just get right to all the wonderful people who had so many fabulous things to say about the great late Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and all the wonderful quotes from the I Have a Dream speech, things of that nature, who voted for Donald Trump and are just as absolutely clueless as they can possibly be. I just want to say, bless your hearts.
Yeah, it's pretty funny that January they always trot out those beautiful Dr. King quotes and not realizing that the struggle and the fight that he was fighting would not be looked upon very kindly today.
No, they want you all to know that you need to stop being divisive and you need to do everything you can do to spread the love that Dr. King was trying to share. And by the way, if more of you were like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.,
we wouldn't have these problems we have right now.
We would not have.
I think I've heard some of the same things you've heard.
Does this sound familiar?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
All righty then. So I just wanted to go ahead and put that out there. It's it's pretty hilariously hypocritical.
Well, I think the easiest thing to do, of course, is to trot those quotes out, especially this time of year.
Post memes makes it even easier. You don't even have to know the quote. I think I saw a few memes that didn't even have factual quotes on them. And my favorite had to be the one where it wasn't even Martin Luther King. It was Martin Lawrence. So that had to be
hashtag
well played
America.
Interwebs.
Love it.
Probably the funniest one. This week in South Carolina news, we are waiting on SCANA, South Carolina Legislative, and I guess
Dominion
Energy and whatever other energy poachers will descend upon the Capitol to decide whether or not we are going to be able to keep those extra, I think roughly $55 a month.
So you're telling me you're not looking forward to your $1,000 refund?
I am not looking forward to my $1,000 refund, especially after Governor McMaster's writes a letter and basically says has been asking them to cease collecting the
they're not going to stop that.
$7 million they get from their I think it is 660,000 customers every month. Yeah. $37 million that they receive every single month from us. That was basically supposed to be for the project.
Right, that's not
right.
That's
not total revenue, right. Not total bringing in, just
the rate. The rate increases.
$1 million in rate increases. Yeah. So right. Seeing those numbers, no, I'm not too happy about them trying to give me $1,000 that I will probably use to pay a utility bill.
It's kind of like a payday loan where they'll give you $1,000, but we're going to charge you for 40 years.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like the kiss of death almost.
Yeah. So I tell you what I found funny about South Carolina politics these days. You see those tariffs that 45 signed to prevent the shipping of those washing machines here to Newberry. It's Samsung
pretty
factory.
Insulting, considering I was certain that Henry had a conversation with him about these things, and looks like he didn't care.
Not only did Henry have a conversation with him, but when 45 came to Henry's benefit in Greenville, he introduced him to the guys from Samsung and the guys from the other company.
Tariffs are tariffs. Tariffs got a tariff.
Right. And that plant in Greenville and Newberry is going to lose a lot of jobs. They said they probably can't justify having the plant there.
I mean, everything's good for a picture show, low pomp and circumstance, but it's just like, Carrier's going to stay here, da-da-da-da-da, and then Carrier's poof, gone. So. Well,
I think a lot of things he said he's going to do, he hadn't made it happen.
Is anybody really concerned with fulfillment of promises? Moving on to more serious matters, there was a documentary on the other night on Frontline.
Oh yeah, it was really, really, really incredible, called "Rape on the Night Shift."
Right.
But these ladies, their voice isn't as loud as some of the more famous voices.
Right. It's like there's the Hollywood Me Too movement, and then there's also the movement that most people don't see, the Them Too movement, of all the voices that are not being heard. So I think Frontline absolutely deserves some kudos for bringing their stories to light.
For sure. I think we all certainly are behind the Me Too movement 100%, but for me anyway, I'm not sure. I can't speak for Kim. I can't speak for you. I can speak for myself.
True. Don't.
I think it's wonderful, but I wish it to be a little more inclusive. Minorities, poor people. Some of the immigrants we have in this country.
True.
A lot of times, especially if you're a legal immigrant, you have no recourse. Who are you going to tell?
Right. But that's also part of, Oprah's speech and Viola Davis's speech about all the voices that you don't hear. It's like the Me Too movement happens to be inclusive of the concerns in a sense, but not as inclusive of the actual demographic of America. But I think that it's a direct relation to the way Hollywood looks.
Sure.
The Me Too movement looks like Hollywood.
Absolutely.
So I think that it's just, as a collective, those of us who are on social media have to be aware that the hashtag movement and our activism aren't necessarily going to look the same, but we should still be fighting for the same issues, even though you're fighting for different people.
Yeah, because the fight's the same, and I think Hollywood is trying to be better about having that voice. Right. Be for everyone and not just for Hollywood. I think they started that defense fund for women.
Yes.
Which is great, because part of the battle is being able to fight the legal battle with
Time's up.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Being able to have a recourse and take somebody to court.
Exactly.
Being able to afford a lawyer.
Right. I think part of the benefit or the willingness of those people in Hollywood to be aware that their voice can be used beyond getting them some sort of retribution is going to be the thing that pushes that hashtag Me Too movement forward.
Absolutely.
There is also like some concern that there's backlash over the hashtag Me Too, because people have been, I guess the word here is
They've hijacked it.
Right. People are trying to hijack it in a sense and throwing in encounters of unpleasant, coerced, aggressive, consensual sex. And a lot of people are saying, no, don't do this. Rape and sexual assault are clearly separate
Absolutely.
from your unpleasant encounter. And there's been one encounter with Aziz Ansari that's become pretty well known, and people have written articles about it because it's an anonymous girl and she discloses this encounter between them in text messages, and basically the consensus is that it was just an unpleasant experience for her, where she felt that he was not aware that she was uncomfortable.
Right. And I think that comes with conversations and
right.
communication.
Because even in she disclosed the text messages, and even in the text messages, like his was like, hey, like almost like had a good time. And
Sure.
then she
Sure.
discloses to him that she did not like what happened, but
She consented to what happened.
yes.
Right.
Yes. Like,
Right.
I don't even think I think it was oral sex actually. So she consented and then decided, after the next day to let him know that he made her feel a certain way and she didn't appreciate it. And, so I can understand the backlash of people not wanting those conversations to be muddled into the Me Too movement. People were like angry with him and, wanted, I guess, that same reaction that's been given to so many other men like Tavis Smiley and Matt Lauer. And then you had women coming in saying, hey, this does not warrant that.
Well, I guess
this
the thing.
doesn't
Well,
warrant
I guess
an
the thing was,
immediate-
because he had a times up pin on the
Right.
carpet.
And
So I guess people were saying, well, wait a minute, how can
Right.
you do this if you're
because
doing that?
you can, because even if you do something that someone else finds offensive, it doesn't automatically make you a predator.
Correct.
So
True.
it's like, that's why you have to talk about things like this so that you can say, hey, don't put him in that basket, like he doesn't belong there. And I think social media, even print media, like, and us having this conversation right here, all of these moments need to happen and need to be heard, and people need to continue the conversation amongst themselves.
I think one of the things I found interesting about the whole Hollywood thing is that all these guys' friends seem like they didn't know what was going on. And I guess men don't have that conversation with each other.
Well, I think one of the things that's easily assumed is that people are friends in Hollywood. It's
I guess that's true.
You see people in photo ops and things of that nature, and it's like, oh my God, there's no way he didn't know like XYZ. They're not besties.
Well, that's a good point. But it just seems strange, like, because, like, like, I don't know, like, everybody knows a woman, I think, that had the hashtag Me Too on Facebook at some point. Right? Would you agree with that?
Right.
But I don't know that every man can say, or every person can say they know a person that's been a sexual offender or a sexual assaulter.
Well, and I think, but that's part of the culture. That's the idea of I didn't do anything. That is also the problem with misogyny and rape culture, is that
it's become so commonplace that nobody thinks it's wrong.
I mean, look at 45. It's locker room talk.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it. And I think like one of the largest probably benefits to this Me Too movement is that women are saying, hey, I don't like it. We don't like
Absolutely.
it. And it is wrong.
Absolutely. And I think, it's going to take men saying, hey,
Right.
you were wrong. That was wrong.
Or
You
I was
shouldn't have-"
wrong. It's going to take
Are you
men
sure?
saying, I did not understand that. I do now. And I was wrong. And telling other men the same thing.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's such a heavy topic, and I don't think it's going away anytime soon. But like I always say, sometimes it's good to be a little heavy.
Right. It has to be.
So let's change gears a little bit and give me something that's making you happy this week.
Ooh. I'm typically not very good with these. What makes me happy? Well, the government shutdown gave me quite a giggle for about 28 hours.
Very quick, very quick.
It was real brief. Tahi is basically what I got out of that. But something good. I would say The Shy. The Showtime drama, The Shy, is an absolute must watch.
Yeah, it's very good. Very well done. It's shot beautifully. Beautiful storylines. Great characters.
Right. Lena Waithe and Common, and I think there may be a few other people on the executive producer list, but they've done a really good job basically trying to give a face to the city of Chicago.
Yeah, it feels kind of a lot like The Wire did for Baltimore back.
A lot like The Wire.
You guys
A
know
lot like a Wire.
And I'm sure a lot of you guys know that show. That's one of the best series of all
Right.
time.
It's almost like if you like The Wire, you must watch The Chi. And since you were kind enough to ask me, I would have to return the favor and say, Xavier, what happened this week that made you pretty excited?
Well, I was very excited for Jordan Peele. The movie Get Out has been nominated for Best Picture. He got a Best Director nod and also Best Original Screenplay. It was an incredible movie, and I think on the heels of being nominated by the Golden Globes in the comedy category, which I think everybody thought was the biggest joke.
I was about to say, wasn't it a comedy?
And not to mention, he didn't even win.
I mean, but it wasn't not at all a comedic film.
No, it was a very serious film, dealing with a very serious topic.
Right.
I think if you're black in America these days, it can be kind of scary, and he dealt with it in an incredible way.
Absolutely. It was kind of scary. I was afraid for a little bit. In the movie. But
it's nice to see a work like that get a lot of credit, and hopefully, fingers crossed, he wins all three.
Right. Get Out was it was good.
And if you hadn't seen it, I don't know where you've been, so go check it out.
And if you made it to this point, you have just listened to the inaugural episode of our Labelless podcast.
Absolutely. How exciting is that, huh?
Thank you very much for tuning in.
And we hope you guys have enjoyed listening as much as we've enjoyed talking.
Of course they did.
Well, I'm not sure about of course. I know we enjoy hearing ourselves talk, but I'm not sure how much everybody else is going to.
I hope you enjoyed it.
Absolutely. So be on the lookout for the next one. Hopefully we'll be coming back to you guys soon.
Very soon.
Okay.
We're going to kind of be doing these randomly, so stay tuned.
Be on the lookout.
And till next time.